So today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little handy purse wallet with pockets in, so you can fit a gift card or business cards. In this size one you can actually fit a small pair of embroidery scissors. You could use it to keep some needle packs in. Really handy size. This one, which is a slightly smaller one, I've made just as like a gift card size, which you can use, and again with the two pockets in, but a slightly smaller size. So I love this make, and the reason that I love it is that it's really beginner friendly. You only have to sew 2 seams, so that's all you have to sew on the sewing machine, 2 seams. So if you can sew a straight line, you can make this purse. It's super easy. And the other great thing about it is this design. I've designed this so you can make 4 of the smaller ones or 3 of the larger ones out of just 1 fat quarter. So it's great for craft fairs. And it's great for gifts because it's really cheap and easy to make. So you just need 1 fat quarter to make 3 of these or 4 of these ones. So meet me back here and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, so for this purse, the only thing that you need is 1 strip of your fabric. So your fat quarter cut into strips, and you'll also need some medium weight interfacing. You can make it without the interfacing, but it will be much floppier. I find the interfacing just makes the folding easier. So you'll need, for the larger wallet purse, you'll need a strip which is 20.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So 20.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And then the interfacing, if you want to, you can cut it just half an inch shorter and half an inch shorter both sides. Now for this one, for the smaller one, it's exactly the same length, 20.5 again, but it's only 4 inches. So it's only 4 inches wide. Okay, so the larger one is 5.5 inches wide and the smaller one is 4 inches wide. But that's the only difference. The construction is exactly the same for both of them. The folds and everything is exactly the same. So I'm going to show you making the larger one, but you do exactly the same for the smaller one. Okay, so you get your large strip. You've popped your interfacing on the back. If you're not quite sure how to add your interfacing will have a shiny side or a flat side and then a bumpy side, and the bumpy side is the glue, and you want to stick the glue to the wrong side of your fabric. So you'll want to put the bumpy glue side on the wrong side of your fabric, and then you iron. So you iron it, and I suggest that you just press and hold your iron rather than move your iron about, because that will give you a smoother interfacing. But different interfacings do have different instructions, so read the instructions on your interfacing for popping that on. So once you've done that, what you'll need to get is a ruler and a heat erasable pen. So I would normally use a heat erasable pen, but so you can see, I'm going to use this water erasable pen, which is just as good. It works just as well, but you'll need to wash it away afterwards, but it's easier for you to see. So I'm going to use this one. So what you'll need to do is, from the end, you'll want to line up your piece of fabric, and you'll want to mark 2.5 inches. So I've got 1, 2.5 inches from the end, and draw a line. And then you're going to put your 2.5 mark on the line. So you're going to draw 2.5 inches again and mark. And then the next one, you'll want to do 2 1/4 inches, so just 1/4 inch shy, and then 2 1/4 inches again. So just to do that again, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. So once you've marked them, we're going to fold them. So I'm just going to bring in my ironing mat. So now we're going to fold and press these lines, and you're going to do it in a concertina, so like a fan. So the first one you're going to fold. So you're kind of folding wrong sides to wrong sides, and get a little press. And then you're going to turn it over, and the next one you're still going to fold on your line, but you're going to fold it kind of right sides together, and you're going to keep turning and folding. So you're going to turn this over again, and again you're going to fold on this line. So what you should have is, when you've turned it and folded it, it should be that 1/4 inch shy on this fold. And so fold and press, and then turn it over and do it again. There we go, along that line, and press. So you should end up with something that looks like that. Can you see? And then you fold it back up in the concertina. Okay. And now you want to take this end and bring it up to this end, right sides together, like that. And I'm just going to give it a little press, because I just find it helps it sit a little bit straighter. And then I'm going to pop a couple of clips in the top there, but I'm not going to sew along the top. So my clips are perfectly safe because I'm not going to sew there. What you do need to do is sew down here. So we're going to have 1/4 inch. So you're going to be 1/4 inch away from the edge, and you're going to sew down using your standard stitch length, which on my machine is a 2.4mm stitch, back stitching at the top, all the way down, back stitching at the bottom. And the same on this side, 1/4 inch away, 2.4mm stitch length, back stitch at the top, all the way down, back stitch at the bottom. I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I've taken that to my sewing machine, and I've sewn down the sides here. And what you can do is, if you've got a pair of pinking shears, you can pink down the edge, or you can just trim it with a pair of scissors just to take any bulk away. I've got some pinking shears here, so I'm just going to trim those edges. Now when you get to all the folds, it will be a little bit stiffer, so just take your time. Don't rush it. So there you go. And just take some of the bulk away. Move those clips. So now how you turn it through is, as you can see, you've got your folds of all your pockets, but you should have 2 pieces which are right sides together. Can you see? 2 pieces which are nice fabric to nice fabric, and this is where you put your hand in to pull through. So this is where you pull through. So if you just turn it all the way through like this, and when you do this, your pockets will be on the wrong side, but don't worry about it. It's very important that you don't skip this step. So once you've turned it through, before you turn your pockets the right way, get yourself a pokey tool and just poke out these corners, because this is going to be the edge of your purse. So you want that to be nice and straight. In fact, what I might do is give it a little press, and then you'll want to take your pockets and fold them over. So you just fold your pockets over so everything is in the right place. And again, you will need to use your pokey tool. And I find if I put it into the front pocket and the back pocket, then that will give you a nice crisp corners. I find a mixture of the pokey tool and your fingers. And then again, give it a nice press. Pressing makes things pretty, in my opinion. And there, we're pretty much done now. So all we need to do now is put the popper closure on. So there's your purse with 1, 2 pockets, and then it folds over and closes like that. So decide where you want your purse to close, and then we're going to mark where our poppers are going to be. So I like my poppers to be in the middle of here. So that is measuring just about 5 inches. So I'm just going to make sure that that's centralized, and then I'm going to do an inch up from the top. So an inch up, half of 5 is 2.5. So I'm just going to mark there, and then going to mark through the other side, making sure you mark it in the right place on the other side. Brilliant. And then we're going to pop our poppers on. So make a little hole. If you've used interfacing, you'll find this no problem at all. If you haven't used interfacing, you might find putting your popper on a bit difficult, which is another reason why it's good to use interfacing. So make a little hole. I use my unpick to make holes. They do give you a special tool with the snaps, but I actually find that this is easier. So pop that in there. And then you're going to push the back of your popper through, so the flat disc through, and on this side I'm going to use the female part of my popper through there, and then turn it over, put the flat disc in this side. I find it's just easy if you put your poppers in the right place first, and then before you squeeze them, just make sure, just double check that you've got a female and a male, and double check that you've got them all in the right place, because these poppers are great, but once you squeeze and set them, they're kind of set. They're quite tricky to get out. So then what you need to do is you get your tool, and you see the plate at the bottom has got like a dip, a curve on it. And you need to make sure that this part of your popper is sitting neatly in the curve and there isn't any bits going anywhere else. Give it a squeeze, good strong squeeze, and there's your popper set. And you do exactly the same. This one is a little bit trickier because it's in the pocket, so you can't actually see that you've got it all in, but I have, because I can feel it. And then, oops, make sure it's all in and give it a good squeeze. So there you go. So there are my poppers. I'll close up my, that's that nice click to show that the poppers worked. So there it is. There's your purse all ready to use. Pop in your business cards, little gift. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.